Alright guys, welcome back to this Mercyful Fate album review series. We are picking things back up with the second to last stop before we rank these things. We're looking at Dead Again from 1998. Very cool album cover, kind of like a shadow box kind of thing with the scene going on in there. Kind of hard to see on here, but really cool deal. And per usual, as we've seen thus far, we're just going to continue this just heavy, kick-ass streak of greatness on this thing. The production's kind of going the same as far as just that clean, heavy sound. And, you know, just that 90s return streak from Mercyful Fate continues with this thing. So, with that being said, we kick it off right off the bat with one of the best ones off here. Torture 1629. And what a freaking way, I mean, to just pump you up right off the bat. It's got such a cool little, little hammer-on riff going on. A really hooky chorus and everything. Just an absolute top-notch one here. And I'll say this too, before we go any further. This one, for whatever reason, I mean, it's pretty clear now, this far in the series, right? I mean, these guys just don't have a bad album at all. Because, we've got one left, and spoiler alert, it's not a bad album either. And all their stuff's really great. But, for whatever reason, this was an album that one of the ones that I've listened to the least amount of times over the years. No particular reason why. Just kind of, for whatever reason, it just kind of fell under the cracks for me, as far as a lot of, the discography goes. So it made listening to this one very interesting, and it just kind of opened my eyes to this one, re-listening to it again for the, third or fourth time. I mean, God, I don't know how many times I've ever listened to this thing, right? But, just not as much as the other albums. And man, was I missing out though, because this thing is I've got a whole new love for this album. But anyways, we'll just continue on. Yeah, Torture 1629, one of the absolute bests off this. I mean, that riff, that little hammer-on riff, and just has this sick groove going on. Then we go with another one of my absolute favorites off here with The Night. And this one has a lot of cool different time changes and stuff going on. And this one also showcases, again, that just that thick, rich bass sound that 90s Mercyful Fate, they just, they nail it. I mean, the last time, the example off Into the Unknown was that little bass intro to 15 Men and a Bottle of Rum, So this one kind of has a little bass intro, little bass lick going on that's similar to that, but just, there's something about that just thick bass sound with 90s Mercyful Fate. But this one, I mean, hell, The Night might even be my favorite off here. I mean, it's got a lot of cool moments going on. I particularly love the moment where it's like, find out who he really is. I mean, just a cool groove to it and cool lyrics and stuff going on. And this is a masterful Mercyful Fate track for sure. Then we go with track number 3, Since Forever. Another just banger, going at it again to no surprise, right? This one really continues it along. Has one of my favorite solos probably on the whole thing. I mean, there's just some shredding and noodling all over this thing from Michael Denner and Hank Sherman. So again, no surprise there with just how kick-ass they've been all through this entire journey we've been going on with this discography. But yeah, Since Forever has a really memorable chorus, really hooky chorus going on. So that's another one that's just awesome. Then we go with The Lady Who Cries, which I really like a lot of the lyrics on. Really kind of creepy stuff going on with this one, which is always, a fun kind of aspect of King Diamond, Mercyful Fate, any of that. Which really, you could say that for about any of these songs, kind of have this creepy feel to them, but especially later on, which we'll get into. But Yeah, this one is just a fantastic track. Again, I really love the riff, kind of picks things up. And you get a lot of that, that kind of character kind of work with the crazy laugh and stuff from King Diamond again, on this one. So that's always fun. I'm always glad to hear some of that going on. This one coming up here is another one that just showcases that bass so damn well. Banshee. This one's probably in my like top 2 or 3 off this album. Period. I mean, Banshee again, just with that crazy that amazing bass tone and sound going on with this one. Um, just adds to the whole feel of the album and the song. Really pumping this one up for me. And another one where the chorus is just really, really good, and just the riff is a standout for sure. But yeah, that the bass is a big like driving force on Banshee here for sure. Then we'll go on to track number 6, Mandrake. Really, really cool one with some wild lyrics, talking about like half plant, half human kind of thing going on. Really, really cool lyrics with that one for sure. Another one that's just got a ripping solo that'll just tear you into from both the gang. I can't really pinpoint who's doing what solo. I guess I could probably whip out the notes there on the in the liner notes and all that in the album, but whoever the hell was doing that main one on Mandrake here is just badass stuff. I mean, some pretty fast picking and stuff going on there. And yeah, another kind of surprise track that I maybe slept on in the past that kind of ended up being just a top-notch one. Number 7, this one probably is my like second favorite off here. Sucking Your Blood. Man, this one has just got such a hook and such like just kind of a dark, wicked sense to it, right? With the way, King Diamond kind of, with his vocals, kind of does this quick little shriek, and then sucking your blood. I mean, he has a way of singing that is just, it's unlike anybody, and it's just so over the top and just very, and anytime, as we'll see really with the next track, I mean, the storytelling aspects and stuff going on, I mean, King can just, match his voice to whatever he's trying to get across, whether it be high pitch or a dark growl, some kind of wicked sounding like you're sucking your blood. This one, really, Sucking Your Blood has always been always been like one of my top 1 or 2 tracks off here. That was always one I really remembered off here. As far as like, because again, like, this is one of the albums I just kind of didn't really pick up too much over the years, but I always did remember Sucking Your Blood being a major standout, and that stands for sure the same. Then we go with the epic off here, good 13 minutes or so, the title track, Dead Again. And you talk about that storytelling going on here. I mean, this one, it starts off real creepy, sounding like, like an old horror movie kind of intro or something going on. Got some neoclassical elements going on when they're talking about the orchestra and all that. Just very, very cool, very storytelling going on here. And this one kind of, it picks up. It kind of starts off a little bit slower and stuff, and then just kind of picks up and really, I mean, just slams you with kind of a slower paced riff, but that's just so badass. I mean, Dead Again's become one of my favorites as well. This track is, I mean, it even kind of fakes out on you. There'll be some moments where you're like, oh, is it over? And then it just hops right back into it with either one of the softer parts that kind of like the opening of the song, or with just that slams you with a solo or that big riff, kind of doomy sounding riff, and a slower paced riff that this one has on it. So this one is a massive standout. I love them epics whenever, you get King Diamond able to sit there and tell a story, especially like on his solo stuff, which it's mainly, concept based and all that, concept albums and all that on his solo work, which you kind of see bits of that creeping in through the Mercyful Fate discography as we've seen, and Dead Again's definitely one of those. Then we go with track number 9, Fear. And if I had to say a least favorite, it'd probably be that one. Again, not a bad song, but yeah, really cool riff. I like the pacing, how it picked it back up after Dead Again. That way you're not like, it was a drastic difference in songs and kind of the layout of the songs and stuff. So, I mean, you really felt like Dead Again, the big epic there, did end, and he took you into a completely different little thing going on there. So Fear is a solid song. I just say amongst all these great ones here, probably my least favorite. And then the closer, track number 10, Crossroads, is probably my second least favorite off here. So this one kind of ended a little bit. Again, these aren't bad songs, right? But when I'm kind of, not necessarily ranking all the tracks, right? I'm not really doing that, but like kind of in my head, just like where I would maybe have them near the top or kind of the bottom of the album. As far as quality goes, I would just say these last two, Fear and Crossroads, are kind of those. But I mean, Crossroads is a really cool song as well. I think Dead Again would have been probably the best opener. Not best opener, the best closer for this. Just that epic and just the way it ends and everything, I think was really would have served as a perfect ending. But Crossroads, not a bad ending at all, and a very cool track. So, no, nothing to, and these ones could also even grow on even more. But just all of that, those first 8 are just, it's so stacked, man. It's crazy to me that I really slept on this album and didn't listen to it as much as I have the other Mercyful Fate albums over the years. I don't know what it was, but it just kind of, whatever it was, it was. But now, definitely not going to be sleeping on this one anymore because, man, I forgot just how damn good this album is. So this is one of those times where, you love it. It may have ranked near the bottom and stuff before, but whenever we see the rankings, this one, I'm thinking it might kind of jump up there a little bit. So, than what I've used to have it, my own personal ranking list or whatever, spreadsheet I've got it. But yeah, just fantastic album. Maybe if you guys have slept on this one before, dive back into this one and, let me know what you think down there because, and there's just no particular reason why. They have such a great discography with no bad albums. So I guess some of them you're just going to kind of gravitate back to. And some of them are just going to kind of get thrown to the side a little bit for you. And that's just kind of what this one did for me. And maybe y'all have some of the albums out of their discography that you've kind of done the same with. But if it was this one, I urge you to go jam out to this thing because it's so freaking good. And I don't really know if it's underrated or not. Not really seen it talked about too much out there, but fantastic album as we reach near the end of this Mercyful Fate discography. So next time we do reach the end of the review part, right, we're going to look at their final album at the moment, 9. I know they've announced another album coming out and all that stuff at some point, but we don't have a release date or any singles or anything. But so we reached that conclusion with 9, and then of course the big ranking coming up. So stay tuned for that, guys. We got some fun stuff coming up. Super pumped to get these things ranked, even though it's going to be freaking hard, but we're going to get it going. So next time, tune in for Mercyful Fate 9 album review. Like, subscribe, and comment. Thanks, guys.